queue times. Eoghan Corry is a travel and aviation journalist, and he joins me now. Eoghan, it sounds like the airport and airport authorities have finally gotten a handle on things. Is that fair?
Pretty much, and the airlines were telling the airport to reduce that early arrival advice time for quite a while now. Very publicly, Lynn Embleton, the CEO of Aer Lingus, made that call to the airport. They were reluctant to do so. I suspect they just didn't want to be caught with what happened at the end of May. They had trouble at the end of March. They thought they'd solved it, and they ran into more trouble at the end of May. But the big question this evening is, will passengers listen to it? Because they have been let down quite badly by Dublin Airport advice twice in the recent past.
So, I mean, your suspicion is that people will still maybe err on the side of caution?
Very much. That's what's been happening. And more than half of passengers in Dublin Airport have been turning up in advance of that advised time. That would compare, you would always have about 20% of passengers arriving quite very, very early for flights, to relax a bit in the airport or whatever. But that is more than half of passengers at the moment. In some cases, 5, 6, 7 hours in advance of their flight. It causes havoc for the security queue, for rostering. You end up at a rush hour that's way ahead of the rush hour for queues, which is way ahead of the rush hour for departures. And it also is causing big problems with baggage check-in. Not so much our two big airlines, Aer Lingus and Ryanair, with the self-tagging system, but some of the airlines that would have 2 or 3 departures a day having to get their check-in desk open and manned and ready for very early arriving passengers was a big problem.
And is this improvement replicated around Europe? Because I know when you and I spoke previously, when the queues were bad, you were at pains to point out, listen, it's not just Dublin Airport. Have other airports got a handle on it?
Yes, the problem is that it's a bit spotty. Dublin Airport had a very straightforward response to this, that they threw numbers at the problem. They got 30 extra people cleared for their security team through the summer. So from that 535 figure we had in March, it's gone to over 800 now. Now, the problems in other European countries are not just confined to the number of personnel on security. There were all sorts of problems with closed terminals as well. And we do have still sporadic problems breaking out. Schiphol has been very bad. Heathrow has what looks like a problem that will run right through to next year, where they've put a cap on departing passengers. And individual airports, particularly regional airports, where they don't have a sort of a steady flow through the year, they have a lot of staff coming on for the summer. A lot of those have hit problems in the last few weeks, but nothing like we saw at the very start of the cycle. I think a lot of things happened. People were out of practice on the security side, the airport personnel, and also people have forgotten how to pack. I think we're getting better at all of that as the summer progressed.
And given we're kind of getting toward the tail end of the summer as well, I assume the hope is that we're not going to see those queues again, certainly not for the next few months.
Dublin should be okay. The number of people they have in the security team should proof them against, for instance, a large illness breakout, COVID-related breakout, or even anything else. So they are pretty firmed up. They were very reluctant to shorten the advice by 30 minutes. Which is what they did today. If anybody's just joined us, you now have a 2-hour advisory for short haul, 3-hour for long haul. But they were reluctant to do that. Where the problems in Dublin Airport are now still lingering on are things like the airport car park. Very close to capacity, so they're trying to manage it so they don't run into problem situations there. And of course, all the other areas like catering and cleaning of toilets, they say things are improving there. Actually getting the security problem sorted means they can concentrate on other areas which are causing problems. Baggage, still an ongoing issue as well.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you about baggage before I let you go, Eoghan. The other big complaint people have had about bags going missing and piles and piles of bags at arrivals beside the carousels. How close are they to managing that problem?
They need a run of 3 or 4 days of very good luck to clear it. Oddly enough, it sometimes gets cleared. For instance, we had Lufthansa, or a German airport strike a couple of weeks ago, and it meant that they did get that breathing space to clear bags. But as the mountain has been cleared, it's being joined by more bags. There are about 30 bags arriving on flights from Heathrow, which are from passengers who were on earlier flights. A lot of the problem is in the transfer big hub airports, Heathrow, Schiphol, Toronto, Pearson is a particular problem as well. The big August destinations we go, like Faro, Malaga, the sun routes, the places people will be coming back from their before the schools reopen. Direct point to point, there doesn't seem to be the same baggage problem there, but certainly passing through the hubs, baggage is still a problem.
All right, Eoghan, listen, we appreciate your time.
Always a great pleasure.